Switches? Sure. Let's talk about switches. Let's talk about switches. Switches! The bane of existence. Everyone, there's a switch war. Everyone hates one switch. Everyone hates one switch. My tip to you is literally, or my opinion on it is literally, it's literally opinion based. Switches are completely opinion based. However, there are a couple switches that I will mention that are not opinion based and it may stem from a bias, but not really at the same time. The two main switches I want to talk about are MX Blacks. Oh, MX Blacks. I would just say Cherry Blacks or MX. Okay, I forgot the MX. MX Blacks and MX Silvers, and I'll talk about why. All right, I'll talk about these two things. You can feel free to disagree with me. You can feel free to agree with me. Completely opinion based and completely based off of the experiences I had. All right. Before we talk into this, we're gonna talk about the different type of switches that most commonly. What are the most common ones? You got Cherry. All right. You got Gateron. All right. These are the two most popular companies. Although sometimes you got Kale, Zelios, Telios, Gateron, Aang's, whatever, blah 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 blah. But I'm gonna focus on the main ones. These ones, and then the two subcategories being linears and tactiles. So some players play better on tactiles because it gives a feedback. Some people play better on linears because they don't want that feedback. Completely opinion. I myself like linears. I also like tactiles. I'm completely fine with using one or the other. I prefer MX Blues for typing. I prefer MX Reds for playing Osu. Completely opinion based. I could switch based on the days as well. Just know that this switch does not dictate how fast you go. Or sorry, that's bad word. Does not dictate how fast you can possibly get. There you go. You could be faster on reds than you are on browns. That's normal. That can be a thing. You can be slower on blues because it has a higher a heavier actuation than reds. That's completely normal. Just know that whatever switch you like is the switch you should mostly use because it's completely preferential. And if you're not comfortable while playing Osu, then what the hell are you doing? If you haven't, it can be applied for anything. If you have an uncomfortable grip, what the hell are you doing? Change your grip. If the way you're tapping is uncomfortable, change the way you're tapping. If your switch is too heavy, go ahead and find a lighter switch. Maybe try MX Reds, try MX Blues, try MX. Why is there a? Wait a second. Is that from the? But anyways, it's completely preferential the type of switch you want. What would you recommend for people learning how to stream for the first time? Any switch. If you're not comfortable with a switch, change it. What are you doing? If you're really good on MX Blues, why are you changing? Playing with MX Blues. Just play with MX Blues. If you want to try MX Browns and it turns out you don't like MX Browns, go back to MX Reds. They're completely preferential. How can you find a good area? Okay, I won't talk about area because area is not related to speed. Yeah, exactly. There are players who play on MX Blues like Merami and stream 300 BPM. I play on MX Reds and Browns and I stream high BPM. Cushman Man plays on MX Reds and he streams like 5,000 BPM. Arison plays on MX Blacks and MX Blues and he streams 5,000 BPM. Zestiny plays on MX Reds. He streams 5,000 BPM. Completely preferential. Now, the two switch that I will highlight is MX Blacks and MX Silvers. So we're going to talk about MX Blacks first because that is what I would recommend. That is the pro. The reason why I recommend MX Blacks, I have an MX Black keyboard right next to me, is because most people think you buy an MX Black keyboard, you're really slow, and you just play with it for the rest of your life. No. An MX Black switch isn't supposed to be played every day. Well, it can be if you're practicing for high BPM. What it's teaching you is teaching you accuracy, making yourself not mash high BPM, and practicing in general increasing your stream, and your burst speed. Not if you play MX Blacks like this. Oh, okay, of course you're gonna like you're going to what's it called? Fucking tap every other switch with like extreme force. No, you want to use it as a tool. It's just like Osu Trainer. You use Osu Trainer as a tool. You use MX Black switch as a tool. You want to increase high BPM, but you've tried a lot of strategies. It's not working. Sometimes it's best to just work backwards. I use MX Blacks. I use MX Blacks a lot. They're really good to increase your stamina. Yes, they tire your fingers out. Yes, you're not going to stream the max BPM you can stream. That's normal. But think of it this way. If you can stream 200 BPM, all right, and then you use MX Blacks, you're set back to 180. But if you build on MX Blacks to stream to 200 BPM and you move back to your old keyboard, you'll be placed at 220, 240, easily. Easily 220, 240. Maybe even higher. Honestly, actually, that's kind of a over-exaggeration. But you'll be able to stream higher BPMs easier because you've trained yourself in a way to stream the BPMs that you normally play on. For example, if you play 180 BPM, despite it being a stream, but you're playing on MX Blacks, you're actually streaming because you're putting in much more effort than you would if you were using your old switch. And then you move back to your old switch, all of a sudden you've increased your stamina. So there's that. It's literally like Goku training. So there you go. That's how you do it. Great. You can use any map on Osu Trainer. You can use any map for Osu Trainer and it will be good. Any map that helps build your speed, great. Use Osu Trainer on it. Heavy switches. I use MX Blacks as an example because it's the most common heavy switch. You can use any heavy switch, but don't use like vintage blacks or something like that. That's like, at that point, I think it's just ridiculous. Like what? You don't need vintage blacks to stream 300 BPM. It's like you can increase this. You can increase the weight of the actuation. Just don't increase it to such an exaggerated amount. Some people think MX Blacks is maybe too hard and want a more tactile version. MX Greens are a great example of one. Yes, MX Greens. I don't know if Razor Greens are MX Greens, but I know their old switches were MX Blues. But I know MX Greens are great heavy switches for tactile people. People want to play with more tactile kind of MX Blacks. MX Greens is your go-to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Razor Greens are MX Blues. So that's that. That's the switch category. I'll talk about MX Silvers now. Controversial. People have MX Silvers. I'm not judging. I'm not doing anything. I'm just talking about it and giving my own 2 cents. The reason why I'm very against MX Silvers is because this is your stream speed. All right, you use MX Silvers, you're gonna instantly jump to over here. Sorry, it's backwards for my camera. Sorry, this is behind and this is forward. Actually, no, I'll do this is behind and this is forward. Okay, just to not confuse. This is 200. All right. You're using this is your bench line. I can stream 200 on MX Reds. I buy MX Silvers, I'm all of a sudden up here. I can now stream 240 BPM. Hooray! Great! Great! Amazing! Let's try going back to my old keyboard. I'm so slow on it. Now I'm stuck on MX Silvers. I can't leave, I can't move all over, and now I'm stuck on using only MX Silvers for the rest of my life. Another thing that can happen with MX Silvers is your act significantly drops. MX Silvers doesn't actually teach you anything, but teaches you how to mash faster, if that makes sense. When you get to higher BPMs on Silvers, you're going to start noticing a significant act drop. Like a very, very significant act drop. Because you're no longer tapping to the beat, but rather tapping to abusing the short range actuation distance. And so you can't really get anywhere if you do that. If you use MX Silvers, like you're kicking yourself in the foot, but you get sent forward 500 meters in a race. Yeah, I'm 500 meters behind the other guy, but I can't actually progress any faster. Like, that's why I'm very against MX Silvers. Yeah, sure, people are different. Some people might excel on MX Silvers and for the rest of their life use MX Silvers. Sure, go ahead. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. In the end, it's all personal preference. My personal opinion about MX silvers is that you can disagree, you can agree, whatever you want. It's just, in my opinion, I think MX silvers are bad because you're handicapping yourself to one switch, and that's it. Yeah, exactly. You can see there are many players who have fallen into the trap of using MX silvers and then trying to go back to their old boards just die. Another thing that I'll talk about MX silvers is it's horrible. Like, you're typing, you're fat fingering every other key. It's just not a good switch to type on. It's not a good switch to use for gaming. You're not going to. It's such a scam. Like, they always mark it as that 1 millisecond, that 1 nanosecond, maybe the life or death in a tournament situation. No, it's not. You're not gonna dodge a nade faster because you press A faster. No, because of the actuation distance. That's so dumb. No, that's not gonna happen. What's probably gonna happen is you're gonna press A but fat finger, like, I don't know, S, and you'll go backwards in the diagonal direction and die to that nade. It's not gonna happen. It's just not ideal. Play with a switch that you're comfortable on, you relax, you like the switch, you like the sound, you like the feel. Play with that switch. Don't change switch because someone else uses a switch and they're much better than you. No, don't do that. Maybe it might work, maybe it not. It's different for everyone. You want to use a switch that you are comfortable with and it's good. And if you are trapped with silvers, don't worry, you'll just have to work backwards and be slow again. Go back to using reds and then slowly advance from there. What MX black boards do I recommend? I highly recommend Ducky or Leopold. Those are the two ones I have and I really enjoy having. Then use browns. There's nothing stopping you from using browns over reds. I mean, if you enjoy using browns, then use browns. If you do well on browns, use browns. So that is the whole conversation about switches. All done. We're done.